Okay guys, one more video for 3 more modifying commands, and then we'll take a break. Then I will give a couple of days and I will send, maybe one more day, and we'll be sending you one more video with 2 more modifying commands, which will be array. Okay, but for now, let's do trim, extend. So there's trim and extend right here. If I click trim, extend, and then there's stretch right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with trim. Trim right here is going to allow us to clean up some of the excess pieces of line that we have right here. So if I don't want these lines right here, past the end of this shape, or the other end, or in between all those lines, I can cut them off, trim them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to trim, and I'm going to say, okay, anything past these boundaries. So the blue lines are going to be my boundaries as I highlight those 2 objects. I select them, I hit enter, and then I go and trim the parts that I don't want, anything that it's outside or past that boundary that I selected. See, I have to click each one of those individually, and I could go here, I could go there, and here, clean up, and I hit enter. So I trim all those parts that I didn't need. But as you can see, it took me 5, 10, 12 clicks to be able to trim each one of those individually. If I go undo and bring those back, and I go and say, okay, let me trim this right here, I'm sorry, and say, instead of selecting this object as my trim edge, I'm just gonna go and hit enter. If I hit enter, everything becomes a trim edge. Everything is trimmable. Okay, so what do I mean by that? See, I don't have to select this object. I simply know that everything that I touch, for as long as there is a continuing part on the other end of this intersection or boundary, whatever you want to see, however you want to see it right here, it will be trimmable. Now, if I go and I trim each one of those individually, again, I'm still going to be doing multiple clicks at once. If instead I go and I click somewhere right here, and then just create a crossing, sort of like a crossing window, I just go, and anything that I select that finds a boundary will go away. See, right here, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I just click here. I don't have to press and hold anything. I just click and pull my cursor in the direction that I want to go, and then it trims that. Look at this. I can go and trim. For as long as there is a boundary, I can trim things right here. Look, see that? And I'm trimming all those corners. Now, the next one is going to be our extend, which is going to do the opposite of our trimming part. Okay, so if I go extend, and I said, you know what, these lines right here were not supposed to be trimmed right here. They need to go all the way to this end right here. So I'm just going to go and say, okay, this is my boundary. Hit enter and extend them. So I will extend. I do the opposite of what I did earlier. I can say any other line right here. See that? Goes all the way there. And even this tiny little one will go find the boundary over there, and I hit enter. Now, if you notice, I kind of did or repeated the same thing that I did when I was trimming. I had to click on each one of those individually. Now, if I went and say, okay, let me extend these lines right here, and I want them all to go into this boundary right here, I could select this and make it a boundary, and then it'll be highlighted, and anything and everything that goes there, or that it's in one way or another crossing at one point, this boundary will extend. But if I just say, you know what, I'm just gonna hit enter, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with my trimming. See, every single line will extend, and I don't have to be doing individual clicking of those lines. So that is going to help you a lot. That's going to make your life a lot easier when you have to extend or trim multiple parts. Okay, so one more time very quickly. Trim, enter. I will trim all this at once. I will trim all this at once. I can probably trim all this at once and go and select everything. I didn't have to have one particular specified boundary. If I go and I said let me extend, and I do the same thing, hit enter, now all these lines are going to extend again. All these lines are going to extend until they find the next boundary. See that? And I don't have to do each one of those individually. This one will extend. This one will extend until it finds the next boundary. See that? All those will extend. I can go here and extend it. Okay. Now the next one right here is going to be our stretch. Let's say that I want to make this shape right here go all the way to here. But really I cannot, because it's a rectangular, it's a solid shape. If you want, I can't extend it because there's no open end right here. So I have to somehow make it go all the way here. So there's two things. I can either create a new one that will go all the way here, or I can use my stretch command right here. Go put a crossing window right here, then hit enter, pick a base point. From here, I want this to stretch all the way here. See, I can do the same thing with this two right here. I said, okay, let me stretch these two shapes, pick a base point. It doesn't have to be in a specific point. You have to do it when you know for sure that this is my reference and that this needs to go all the way here. But if you're simply trying to stretch something, make it a little bit longer, then you can simply go, for example, and say, okay, I'm just going to stretch this line from this base point all the way until I get to this line, and you're done. So stretching helps a lot so that you don't have to recreate certain things. Let's say, okay, that one went too far. Instead of guessing, I mean, you could do it right here. You can go and grab the grip point right here and pull one point, but it only pulls 1 point at a time. So instead, I could go and say, well, let me stretch that right here, and I can go from any of those points available, those grip points, and I can pull it all the way to here. I just stretch that part right there. Okay, so that is trim, extend, and stretch. Okay. Okay, so this covers, along with the other videos, it covers most of our modified commands, with the exception of this right here. We still have to do rectangular array and polar array. We don't do path array right here, but we're going to do rectangular and polar array. I'm going to be creating one more video. I will probably send it on a separate email, but I want you to work on this too. So there's going to be two exercises, polar array and rectangular array, that you will have to work on. But for now, you will work on your exercise, your office, your geometric construction, and your pattern. The pattern you should be able to finish with all of the modified commands that we have seen so far. Okay, then we'll finish this video up. Okay.